Alright, full-time executive gaming back, and today I'm going to be showing you 3 more build hacks. The first one is going to be a chest barrier, and then the second one is going to be, like, armor stand projectile training, and then the third one is going to be, how to make a trapped chest secret and look like a normal chest, and hide the latch on the chest that looks like, that has that red around it that actually looks like, it's trapped. So, and of course, the fourth one, you gotta wait till the end because it's the fourth one in the ender chest. You've gotta wait till the end to see what is in the ender chest for the fourth build hack. So stick around till the end. But anyway, let's get into this. Alright guys, I'm back. And so the first one is basically a chest barrier. So basically, all you'll need is I'm going to explain why you need the bow and arrows later, when, a little bit later when I start building this thing. But first, you'll need 8 chests. You're going to need a... Why did I just drop the chest, bro? I don't know what I'm doing at this point. I can't even click chest and put them into my inventory at this point. So you're going to get a bow, 8 chests, and a stack of arrows. It could be any amount of arrows, but I'm just... I'm just getting a stack because I feel like, when you're, fighting mobs or, I don't know, fighting off whatever, usually a stack is a good amount. But, I mean, you could use any amount, but, I just recommend a stack because a stack is a decent amount of arrows. But anyways, so basically what you're going to do is you're going to basically place 2 chests on top of each other. And then pretend like this is the middle block. And then these, you stack 2 chests on top of each other. And basically, you're going to go to all the other 3 sides around that middle block and place a chest. And then you're going to place a chest on top of all of those. And there you have it. Now, you're wondering what this is, because it honestly looks ridiculous if you don't know the context of this. But basically, just give me a second. I'm going to be back. Alright guys, I'm back and it's nighttime because basically I'm going to spawn a skeleton and show you basically how you can basically use this defense to kind of, if a skeleton or even a player is trying to shoot at you, if you have all these chests around you in this position, basically it will be hard for them to shoot you through this little slit in between the chests. But since you're so close to the chest, you can easily, fairly easily shoot through the gap between the chests and hit them. So let me show you with a skeleton. So see, it missed there, and then I can easily hit it if I aim it perfectly. I mean, if they get up close, obviously they can shoot you and do a lot of damage. But yeah, so I mean, if you get them far enough away, yeah, so it's basically really hard, and especially even if they do get close, you saw that skeleton kind of got close. Basically what you want to do is basically, if a player or a skeleton gets too close, you can always do this trick, and it also works. And it only works with the chest in this position. But if you kind of hug the walls of the chest, it's even harder to shoot around that corner, and you can kind of sneak to even get a even more accurate shot, and you can kind of shoot around kind of that in between the gap, but you're still hugging pretty closely against the wall, and that at this angle, it's even harder for them to shoot you because they're probably gonna miss and probably hit this chest because that's at a better angle, an angle that's more hittable and a better angle. But if they're far away, it's really hard for them to hit you, and you can easily shoot them through this gap between the chests. It might take a little bit of time to get used to the gap between the chests, but I mean, once you get kind of where that gap is that you can shoot, then you kind of get it, and it's kind of, you won't forget it, and you'll keep shooting, and you'll keep shooting in that gap, and you'll do a lot of damage to them, while they can't do much damage to you, and they'll feel ashamed of themselves because the reason that they're losing that PvP battle is because that other person literally placed down 8 chests. But anyways, that was a cool build hack. Let me get to the next one. Alright guys, I'm back, and the second build hack is the art as how to kind of, how to train to be accurate with your projectiles with just armor stands. I mean, literally, it's not that complicated, because that's what build hacks are about. They're supposed to be as simple as possible, even though as simple as possible for some things, is not as simple as for others. But this one happens to be really simple. It's literally just armor stands and whatever projectile you want. Now, there is a disclaimer. You cannot use eggs or snowballs. Eggs and snowballs, whatever. Is basically, you can't use those. You can only use what I have in this row here, which is a crossbow, a bow, wind charges, and the arrows go with the bow and the crossbow, but you get the point. But anyways, basically, what you're gonna want to do is it's as simple as placing you're gonna place armor stands, and I guess you probably preferably want to place some farther away to practice farther away shots and closer shots and whatnot. But basically, what you'll do is basically pretty simple. So basically, you'll be at, I don't know, whatever distance you set. So I'm just gonna set right at this middle chest right here, in between the other 2 chests on each side there. I'm basically gonna just from wherever I guess this is where I'm gonna pick basically, and then basically I'm just gonna shoot an arrow and basically or whatever. I'll show you with each projectile. I guess if you didn't know my PvP skills were good, I mean, I guess I can just show them off now. But basically, all you'll do is you'll basically just shoot and then just hit the armor stands, and they will break because these projectiles will actually break the armor stands, and you'll know obviously that's how you actually hit it, was that it will actually break. And because it's an entity, just like players are entities, it's kind of like because it actually has a hitbox just like a player. So it basically is exactly like if you're PvPing, it has the exact same hitbox as a player because it's an entity, not a block, not like a block or anything, which is just a block. Because just a block's just a block, but this is actually an entity, like an item. So basically, yeah, that's how it works. So you basically can just aim and hit the armor stands. And I mean, same with crossbows, they work too. And wind charges also work. Oh my god, can I get that one all the way over there? I bet you I can. Let me try. Oh my god, I did, yeah. Anyway, and wind charges also. And also because wind charges, you have to hit players in a specific spot to actually hit them. It actually works the same with armor stands. You have to hit them in a certain spot to actually launch a player, or in this case, you'll actually break the armor stand. But basically, it actually exactly simulates what a PvP match would be like with ranged weapons. So basically, oh, that was not even close. Oh, there we go. Second try. That worked. But anyways, that was pretty cool. Let's go to the next hack. Alright guys, I'm back, and the third hack is the trap chest and how to basically hide that latch on the trap chest that gives away that it's a trap chest, and then people aren't gonna, open it. Because by now, Minecraft's been around for so long that, people know, that the red ring around the latch of the chest obviously means it's trapped. But what if you could do a really good job of covering that? Well, there's actually a good way to do that. Now, basically how you do it is all you need is 6 oak planks, an oak slab, a trap chest, and an item frame. And basically, what you'll do is you'll place the trap chest down, where your designated spot, obviously where your trap is, right over your trap, where it's going to activate it when people are going to open that chest. And then, basically, you're just going to build up, you're going to build up 2 around the chest. It's going to be on each side of the chest except for the front, and you don't want to fill in the corners at all, so it's going to kind of look like this. And then basically what you're going to do is you're going to put the slab at the top. Now, this is basically, you have to do it in a very specific way. You have to place the slab at the top of the top oak plank. You can't put it at the bottom of the top oak plank because nobody would be able to open that chest. Because if a slab's or any solid block is on top of the chest, you can't open it. So basically, then you'll just place the item frame on the front of the chest, and there you go. So basically how this works is sometimes people try and look, people, like the item frame covers the front of the latch, but people could try and look around the sides, but the oak planks all around the other sides basically protect, anyone from looking around the sides, to try and look at, what, if the latch has a red ring around it or not. And also the slab on top prevents people from looking over and trying to look through, like over and in between, the chest and the item frame. And basically, I mean, even going right up against it, you really, honestly, you can't tell. I mean, you really can't tell unless you can see that little bit of, you can see a little tiny bit of that red latch, but I mean, it's really small. And also, it kind of looks like part of the item frame, the way the item frame's on it, and I mean, you'd have to get real close to it, so that works real well. I mean, and a lot of people don't go real close to a chest. This is just extra precautions, but, just to make sure. But, I mean, people would have to really look to find that little bit, and then they would have to know that that wasn't from the item frame. So most people would just go up and, open that chest, and then, by the time they saw the red latch when the chest opened, it was already too late because, the trap activated and, either, probably there's a pitfall trap or TNT exploded or something. But that's pretty cool. But let's go to the final one. This is what you all have been waiting for, the ender chest. You guys have all been waiting for what is in the ender chest this whole video since the beginning. So basically, here we go. We're gonna open it right now. So here it is. Now speaking of traps, we got a heck of a trap here. This basically, it's kind of like a landmine in vanilla Minecraft. So basically, what it is just a dispenser, one piece of obsidian, an end crystal, any type of pickaxe or shovel. I just picked a wooden pickaxe and wooden shovel to show you that you can use any pickaxe or shovel. One arrow, and a sculk sensor. Very random items, you're thinking. I mean, they are, but I'm going to show you how they can make a deadly landmine. Now, I'm going to go far away from all my chests and all my other builds because, I don't want them to get exploded. So, I mean, that's why I made this, before I created this video, I made the space pretty big. So, just in case, I built, in a, the larger area or I had a landmine I had to set off. I think I found a corner that's far enough away from the other build, so I'm just gonna mine down right around here. Yeah, okay, this works. At the edge of my area I mined out for today's video, that should be good. So basically, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to dig down 4 blocks. So you're gonna have to dig down 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then 4. And then sometimes it could be stones, so that's why you need a shovel and a pickaxe. Also, you need to mine it in it. Basically, it has to be, 2 blocks in width. Not that you would, dig straight down because I told you not to in previous videos. But just so you know, it has to be 2 blocks. No matter what, it has to be 2 blocks wide. It has to be 4 blocks deep. Basically, what you're going to do is before you place the end crystal, because end crystals are very dangerous, it's easy to sack, so you set them off yourself and blow yourself up, with your own trap before you even made it. That's really sad. So, anyways, you're going to basically, on the top block, on, like, the basically ground level, you're going to place a dispenser. You're going to go right under where the dispenser is going to be placed. So basically, it should face down, and you should see that basically the hole where it dispenses things, you should see that facing towards you. Then basically you're on the same block, but under it, you're going to place the same block, but just deeper. You're going to place obsidian. You're going to place an end crystal on top. I mean, you could do it this way, but actually, I kind of advise you to place the arrow first. You could place the end crystal first, but I advise you to place the arrow first, just because I feel like it makes like most of the work done before you put the end crystal down. Then you put the end crystal down, and now you could build up the second block. You could just build all the way up to the ground level, but that's very risky. There's a big possibility that you'll actually explode the end crystal. So I advise you to mine one block in front of you, basically on the block you're standing on, and then you're going to mine up. And then the thing is, you should actually mine one more block in front of you, because this can kind of get a little bit close to the end crystal. So you want to mine one more block in front of you. And then you want to patch the other 2 blocks above. And then you want to make sure your end crystal is basically, when it floats up, it should be right up against your dispenser. Like, just break a block to make sure that happens, just like mine is doing right here. Then you're going to place that block back, and then you got to be very careful, because you want to you got to be sneaking. You got to be sneaking. You either got to be on a wool block or sneaking to make sure the skulk sensor doesn't go off, because if it does, that landmine's going to go off. So basically, you're going to place the skulk sensor very carefully down on top of that dispenser. But yeah, be sneaking or on a wool block, and don't put anything on or eat anything, because that's going to set it off. I'll show you what happens. I'm going to test it right here, right now. I'm in survival mode. I'm going to test it. I'm just going to put everything else in my inventory, not my hotbar, so I had nothing. But basically, yeah. I mean, it's going to be too late before you realize that the skulk sensor's there, because you're going to be walking, and then this happens. Oh my god. The fact that I survived, the reason I survived was because I was really lucky there. I'm on easy mode, and of course, landmines, you don't set up one. You set up a bunch. So if one doesn't work, the next one that explodes will. And imagine one landmine setting off another landmine, setting off another landmine, and they all just explode. Now that's dangerous, because now you're flying through the air, you're getting a little bit deeper, under the ground, and then another one explodes, and then you're right on top of that one, and you're dead. So yeah, it's pretty dangerous. And I mean, how it works, obviously, is that skull sensor basically sends a red when it detects something, an entity walking around, or anything basically moving, someone eating something or anything. It activates, sends a redstone signal to that dispenser. The dispenser dispenses that arrow, and basically the arrow hits the end crystal and explodes it. And it's really cool. But anyways, please like, subscribe, and share this channel with your friends. Until then, goodbye.